guys, I hope you're all okay. Today I thought I would sit down and film a quick Q&A video whilst Harrison's napping. I tweeted out yesterday asking if anybody had any questions, and I did have a few replies, so I've written them all down and I'm going to reply to them now. What made you want to be a cabin crew, and do you enjoy it? What are the best and worst parts of the job? Okay, so when I first started flying, I kind of wanted to do it just because it seemed like a really glamorous job, even though it's far from that. It was a job that was maybe a little bit different from others. A lot of my friends were doing like 9 to 5 in offices. In fact, a lot of them were still at uni. And I just wanted to do something for me, a little bit of travelling maybe, and I'm still there. For me now, the best parts of it are probably what we all go to work for, the money of course, the people. I've made some really great friends. It's a really good job if you love meeting new people like every single day, because with that job you never fly with the same people like day in day out, so you're always surrounded by new people, of course new passengers, and it's a very different job. I also have a really good lifestyle with it. I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off as a part-time crew member. The worst part about the job, I guess for me, is being away. I'm now in the position where I've got Harrison, I've grown up, and I don't really want to be away from home, and at the moment I am quite a bit, so that's something I'm kind of struggling with a little bit, but it's a job and I'm grateful that I've got it. How did you start your blog? Okay, so maybe you don't even know that I write a blog, but I do. I've written a beauty blog for about 8 years now. That's kind of how I got into the whole YouTube thing. I studied beauty therapy at college, and I knew from then that I didn't want to do beauty with like hands-on. I always wanted to do something behind the scenes. I have and still do have a huge passion in all things beauty, and I just kind of found that blogging was my little outlet of sharing my favourite lipstick and my selfies and just talking to like-minded people, I guess. I read a few blogs at the time, and I thought, I think it was New Year's Eve, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do my own. To be honest, never thought it would be something that I kept at, but I did, and I'm still doing it now. What is your favourite meal and alcoholic beverage? Okay, so my favourite meal would be anything pasta based, probably spaghetti bolognese. If that's on the menu, I'll always get it. Mike's like, you're getting that again? Yeah, it's my favourite. And my favourite alcoholic beverage, I would probably always have gone with something like a mojito in the past, but since becoming a mum and a little bit more adult, I'm kind of into wine. I've never been a wine person before. In fact, I avoided it, but I came across one special little bottle and I buy it all the time. Will you be having any more babies? As I'm sure you can imagine, I do get asked this question a lot, and the answer is yes, of course I'll be having more babies. I want a million babies. I love Harrison, and all I want is for him to be surrounded by a million siblings, but I guess when the time's right it will happen, and for now he's happy being an only child, and I'm loving spending all of my time on him and giving him all of the attention that I can give him. But yeah, the answer is yes. What is your favourite thing to do with Harrison? I think for any mum, your favourite thing to do with your child is what makes them happiest. Harrison loves being outside, so whether we're at the park or the farm or just anywhere outside, he's happy, so I'm happy. He just loves it. So wherever he's smiling the most, I know that sounds so lame, but I do think honestly just taking him to the park, he loves it. So that was the answer. What is your top tip for toddler meltdowns? Oh my god, I have no top tips. They're the worst. Harrison's at the terrible twos, like 6 months early at the minute. I think just to try and stay calm. I don't always stay calm, but that would be my advice probably. They're toddlers, they're gonna have meltdowns. They're at that stage where everything must be so frustrating for them. Maybe they can't talk, maybe they can't tell you exactly what they want, or I'm just going to let Harrison, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt at the minute, just let him get on with it. I tried the whole, by then I'm going, and he says bye-bye and stays stamping on the floor, laying down in the supermarkets, as I'm sure you've seen on vlogs. Just stay calm, have a cup of tea, and just keep in mind that they're little. If you have any tips, comment them below. What is Harrison's daily routine? Okay, so we've always been I've always been very much into routines, and since Harrison was a baby I've always been like, right, it's bedtime, and thankfully that paid off, because he sleeps all night and pretty much always has. We don't really have routine in that we go to the same places on like a Monday and a Thursday and a Friday. He goes to nursery on a Tuesday and Wednesday. That's pretty much as far as activity routine goes. But in terms of our like day-to-day, what definitely happens, Harrison wakes up at about 7:30 to 8 in the morning. I go in and get him, change his bum, take him downstairs, get him a nice warm bottle because he loves his warm bottle, and I cannot take that away from him. That is one thing that he adores. Then we get him some breakfast. Again, we don't really have routine in terms of food. It's whatever kind of breakfast he fancies that day, or I fancy making him that day. Then we'll go into the front room. I'll try and get him dressed while he's watching a little bit of TV. We watch probably Toy Story, and then he goes off for a nap. He likes to go for a nap about an hour and a half to 2 hours after he's woken. Then whilst he's napping, I get ready. Then we head out somewhere, and then it's lunchtime, probably about 1 o'clock. Then at about 2:30 or 3, he'll take another nap, probably for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then we play some more, and then dinner time is probably about 5, 5:30. Then it's bath time, and then by about 6:30 he's ready for bed. Like, he wants to go to bed at that point. He's got his blanket, his dummy, and he's off. So that's kind of our day-to-day routine, I guess. But if you want to see a video on that, then I know I show it in the vlogs, but if you just want to see a day in the life of, that's something I can definitely do. What foundation and concealer do you currently use? Okay, so at the minute I am using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I've used it for quite a few months now and I love it. It's got really good coverage, and I kind of wear this on day and night. Concealer, I don't really have one at the moment. I've got the NARS Creamy Concealer, but everyone loves it, I'm not sure. The Bobbi Brown corrector and under eye concealer are excellent, and I highly recommend them, but to be honest with you, I don't really use a concealer. Do you ever look back at vlogs and think sometimes you take what you have had for granted? I hope this comes across as I mean it and not in a negative way. Yeah, I guess so. I think everyone looks back at things and thinks, oh, you know, I don't like to regret, but I guess people look back and think, oh, I took that for granted. And me, I do, of course, occasionally. One thing that comes to mind is, I guess I've probably moaned about being tired in the past on vlogs, or I don't know, and of course other people have it a lot worse. So I did take the fact that Harrison slept through from a very early age for granted. But at the same time, I don't really know how to articulate this. The same time, my vlogs are really honest, so I'm vlogging what I'm feeling there and then. I think it's really easy to look back at vlogs and think, oh my gosh, why the hell was I moaning about that? But my vlogs are so honest. Like, I want to be honest with my audience. I don't want to lie or cover up any feelings. So I'm kind of vlogging in that moment. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I do occasionally. Do you plan on staying as cabin crew? I love the job, I really do, but as I mentioned before, now I've got Harrison, it is getting difficult. I love the job and it pays the bills, but I'm not sure it's entirely the job for me now. As a parent, it does get difficult, and I just want to be at home with Harrison as much as I can. Being away in all these lovely places and staying in gorgeous hotels is the dream, believe me. However, being at home with Harrison and watching Toy Story is much more of my dream, and it's just getting to that point now where it might be getting a little bit difficult and I'm struggling with it a little bit. So for the time being, yes, I'm still going to be cabin crew, but I guess once I have another baby and once we move house, I probably will have to hang up my wings. What advice do you have for going back to work after maternity leave? This is something I really struggled with. There were a lot of tears on my vlogs. But now, looking back on it, I think kind of don't overthink it. You're still going to get a hell of a lot of time with your baby, and actually going back to work can be a really good thing. You've got that little bit of extra money in your pocket, you've got a little bit of adult time back, so kind of just don't overthink it, just take it as it comes, and yeah, and just remember that you're doing it for them. Like, at that point in your life, you're going back to work to provide for your baby, and you do anything for your kids, so just bear that in mind. It's not as bad as you think it will be. It all works out, I promise. What is your advice to women wanting to start a family? This is quite a difficult question because everybody's in a different situation, but if you're in that position where you actually sat down and you want to start a family, I guess just one, try and make sure that you're in the right situation at home, that you're financially stable, I guess, because although them little babies don't cost too much to begin with, when it comes to nursery they cost a bomb. So just bear that in mind, and also just do it your way. Don't take on any pressures from anywhere else. If you want to start a family, do that. Don't overthink stuff. Drake or Kanye, Natasha, Bailey, you are a horrible person asking me this question. Kanye, always Kanye. I love Kanye. That is going to be controversial. Do you ever compare yourself and how you parent Harrison on social media, for example Instagram? Yes, all the time. That's what social media does. It can make you feel this big. It can make you feel like the worst parent in the world, the ugliest parent in the world, just a horrible person. But I'm not fooled anymore. But of course, I think everyone does. In all aspects of my life, and not just being a parent, I look at Instagram and think, oh my god, how have they got their life together so well? How are they parenting that child so well that they're eating all of their dinner, they're eating vegetables and fruit salads for lunch, and they've got no beige food on their plate? Of course, I think that's really natural, but you've got to remember that people only post what they want you to see, and believe me, behind the filters it ain't like that at all. Do you have any nice plans for the upcoming year? Oh. Yeah, I guess so. Two things that come to mind: we're looking for a nice new house, and also holidays. They're a nice plan. I'm hoping to go away with my mum and dad with Harrison shortly, and then I guess a nice family holiday in the summer would be perfect too. One thing you know now that you wish you knew when you first became a mum. Okay, one thing is going to turn into 4 or 5. The first one is that time really does go too bloody fast. Everyone says it sounds like one of them massive cliches, oh, time goes so quickly. It does. It really does go extremely quickly. They're no longer that big. Only this morning I was looking at pictures thinking, oh my god, where has that time gone? Because he used to like be like this on my shoulder. Now he's climbing over me, pulling my hair, causing chaos. It goes really quickly, so make sure, again cliche, make sure you make the most of every single day. Second, there's light at the end of the tunnel. The teething will end one day and you'll be on to the next hurdle. You time is very important. You or me time. you have to find time for yourself. I'm only just there at 18 months thinking I need me time now, because just as much as you want to spend every minute with your baba, you've also got to remember that you need time and you're important. Your happiness is the most important, because if you're happy, baby's happy. I wouldn't change a thing about the last 18 months with Harrison. However, I wish I'd maybe woken up earlier to get myself looking good so I felt good. Although nobody cares what you look like, so don't think, oh my god, I've got to go and get ready, I've got to look good. When you're a new mum, nobody cares. But I do wish that I'd given myself a little bit of extra time, given myself a few baby free nights off, you know, that kind of jazz. And one thing that I know now that I wish I knew as a first mum, that love that you feel for your baby when you first meet them, it doesn't go away. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. No, I'm getting soppy. What is the hardest and the best part of being a mum? The best part is them. Your little baby, your toddler, your child, their happiness, their smile, everything about them, even the tantrums, believe it or not, they are the best thing about being a parent. The worst thing, the first thing that comes to my mind is probably the mum guilt, because you can no longer do anything without feeling bad, without feeling like the worst person in the world. That's probably the worst thing about being a parent, is the guilt and the worry like you wouldn't believe. What is the funniest thing that Harrison has done recently? Honestly, Harrison is such a character. He just makes me laugh so much. But in the evenings, he has what we call his funny 5 minutes. But it's just like a bit of a crazy half an hour where he just goes wild. He is obsessed with Toy Story. He's like, to infinity and beyond. And it just cracks me up. He does this thing with his eyes where he's like, just to make you laugh. He's just funny. That kid is a funny kid. He's singing and dancing. It impresses me every single day too. How do you find the time and motivation to fit in blogging and YouTube with Harrison? When it comes to blogging, that is something that I think I've touched on before on a vlog somewhere, but it's something that really kind of gets me in here, because blogging has always been my thing. I blogged daily for so many years, and then once I had Harrison, I just didn't have the time. Beauty blogging is a lot harder than people probably think it is, and when I first had Harrison, that just wasn't a priority of mine. He was, but I think that 18 months in, I don't have any excuses anymore. I definitely do have excuses, but I really want to get back into it. Writing the odd post isn't good enough for me. I want to be back vlogging every single day, making it a job again. So that is definitely on the cards. However, vlogging I find really easy, because even if it wasn't for YouTube, I would still be vlogging Harrison, filming him every single day, because I want to have their memories. I know their memories up here, but I want them hard copy for him and for our family when he's older. So I would be doing that anyway, and so all it means really is that I have to find time to and motivation to edit videos together, which I just do when he's in bed or when he's at nursery. In another aspect is that it is also work, so yeah, how do I find the motivation? I love it, and just being passionate. I think the passion I have for vlogging and blogging and everything is enough that will keep me going. I don't know if I answered that question. That is all of the questions that I have written down in my notebook. If you do have any questions, make sure you comment them below, because I will be filming another Q&A video soon. I've actually really enjoyed just sitting down talking to the camera, and yes, make sure you comment them below. I'm always replying to comments as well, so you know where I am. I'm here, or Twitter or Instagram. I'm always there answering away. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're very well as always. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe, follow me everywhere, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.